Give some people a little bit here. I'm going to throw an invite out for everybody in the group. Let me pop that out here. And if you got questions at all or want me to check out any flow, just feel free to drop it in the chat here and I can pull it up. It's been kind of a quiet afternoon here. A lot of flow overlapping earnings here with the earnings season coming up, so might be a little slower video or live stream here. JT, what's up? Andrea, what's up? Hope you guys are coming in with a lot of questions, because yeah, that flow, I mean, a lot of it is just kind of here. Andrea, I'm gonna tag you in here, so chat's in a different spot here, so different chat from the main chat. It's kind of hidden in the live stream area. So, but yeah, a lot of our flow here just kind of, we're getting ask side flow, but a lot of it's overlapping earnings. It's obviously earnings season, so again, a lot of junky flow, I like to call it. But hoping you guys come in with some good stuff. Zigford, what's up? Yeah. Just kind of looking, I mean, we've been kind of just choppy for the most part today now too, and tied just even over the last week. I mean, again, a lot of it's just been flat. I mean, you're the 1 day of call premium sticking up, but having SPY rise a little bit yesterday, but I mean, mostly everything just kind of flat, and then calls dipping today. Planning on doing the whole hour, but we'll have to see. I mean, a lot of flow just kind of coming in, and size wise, I mean, size is pretty down on the ETFs too. Kind of an overall crappy day. Saw these Nvidias earlier, but obviously they made a nice move now. Do you have, oh, you have it right there. I was gonna say, do you have the contract? Let me pop it up here. So the 8141 call, let's take a peek here. Definitely an opening trade, obviously, just volume being bigger than open interest. We know it's opening. 102,000 for premium. So I think, okay, it doesn't overlap earnings, so good there. Let's take a peek here. So let's see, coming back, so our flow comes in. Nice little spike in the IV there, coming in at the ask. So IV staying up. This looks to possibly be part of it, hard to tell. So this is where I don't like it. Obviously, you have that other flow coming in here after. So kind of a mixed bag here, because you have your spot increase, but your IV drops there a little bit. So then your IV pops up there again, and you're coming in at the ask. IV, yeah, these look like buys to me. I mean, your IV does eventually pop and continue to rise, and your spot's increasing. 576. Let's see. Yeah, those look interesting. Those look pretty good. There's Zigford. Like to kind of see a little more premium, but it's 13% of your total volume too. Yeah, I mean that flow looks pretty good there. Something you can take a peek at. Doesn't overlap earnings, so that's a good thing there. Good find there, Zigford. And those AMDs, I know we were talking about it earlier, the Advanced Money Destroyer. Look at that, 208, and they come up and hit 248. A little over 20% on those. That's funny. And these NVIDIAs, before Zigford popped that one in, I was kind of looking at that. These came in right away at open, and I looked at them, but yeah. Yeah, so this one, the NVIDIA one's why I passed on, and this is why I say it's not always an exact science either. Your IV's decreasing. IV continues to decrease, and it's decreasing here. Your spot's still coming in at the ask. So, I mean, obviously it's not a complete science. It pops up a little bit there again, but that IV's kind of all over. That's why I passed on those. And like I said, it's not a 100% complete science, and they made a good move today. So, happens. Yeah, we just haven't really had anything that good. The AMDs that came in. Nice little move on those. But seeing a lot of these pieces of flow just coming in, not coming in at the ask, and just kind of mid, or they're just not the best. Wilson, what's up? And a lot of multi-leg stuff here too. And again, I mean, you're seeing a lot of this flow coming in 28 days to expiration. You overlap earnings. It's hard to know if it's an earnings play or what it is, if it's related to earnings, if it's just something long term. I mean, even coming and looking at that raw flow too. I mean, your IV is the same and you're coming in at the ask. There's no way to know if it's an earnings bet, whatever. So, I mean, that's kind of why I pass on that type of flow. Earnings season's obviously a lot slower. The circle calls. Again, so here's your ask side flow, 205, and they came down and hit 85. Let's look at these. These might have been a sell at the ask. That's interesting there. Let's take a peek. So, see, and another good example here, I mean, your IV spikes, your spot price spikes, and let's come down here. So, I mean, it reads as a buy, but this is just kind of having some time in the market too as well. These are, I mean, they weren't 69% out of the money at the time, but these were probably about 60, we're down about 4.5% now, so about 65% out of the money in their weekly expirations. Something like that I'm going to avoid, because you just don't, I mean, that's very far, and Theta's very aggressive on those. So good non-call on those. See what else we got. The snaps. 18, again, another one that overlaps earnings, coming in at the mid. This isn't an ask side fill, even though it shows ask. I mean, you can see it's been pretty crappy on that move anyways. Just kind of looking at that flow again here just to give us something to look at. So yeah, I mean, 92.20. So I mean, these would read as a buy, but again, we don't know if it is earnings related. Like when I consider what I consider earnings flow, let's see if I can find one in here. I know there were some Teslas a little earlier. Let's see if I can find them again. Not those ones. Let's see. So like earnings. So like when I see, of course I can't find anything. Kind of scanning the feed here. So okay, like this is what I consider earnings feed. You have earnings 6 days away. These contracts expire in 7 days. To me, this is probably an earnings bet, which again, obviously, not always going to work, but and that spread is just horrendous too on that. But yeah, you got the spike in the IV. You, say these are coming in close to the ask, but this is what I consider earnings flow more. You're expiring that same week of that report, so this other flow that overlaps earnings, I mean, these were the Teslas I was looking at. These were interesting because these came in over the ask, which we had this conversation yesterday. You can buy contracts over the ask. Yeah, JTL, I'm gonna work on that guide over the weekend here, and yeah, that's a thing. You can buy contracts over the ask, and Zigford can confirm that too, because I know he tested that yesterday. But yeah, I mean, like, see, to me, this is an earnings bet. 245 could be a hedge. You don't know. Like I said, earnings are a crapshoot. These Oscars, again, 28 days, 19 days. We don't know if it's earnings related. Yep, exactly. You want to give them free money? Hey, they'll take it. They will take it. Man, just junk today. Not really seeing a lot of call participation either. How are we looking? Just dead even. We've been sitting neutral for a while for market sentiment. Yep. See, like JT. Okay, I'll tell you what I was. Easier to explain it this way. What is something that is up a lot from if I'm dropping like 500,000 on a trade, I am not doing anything on accident. That's the thing. But yeah, you got it. That would suck. Let me just find some. Okay, so like, let's do these CRSPs. I know it's bad, like what they see. Okay, so like, perfect example here of like something above the ask. These contracts or not contracts. This CRSP stock is up 17.88% today. Everybody is thinking. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up here. CRSP. So okay, you're up 17% on the day. Everybody wants calls. I mean, look at those spreads. Those spreads are just junk. Let's see if we can do just like 14 days out. And this isn't going to be a good example either because no liquidity on this stock. Like, okay, let's say I put in an ask for 240 and I'm not getting filled. If I bump that up to 245, I mean, I can come in here right now and just pop this up to not that. Let's see. If I pop that limit up to 260, I'll get filled. I'll get filled at 260. That's the thing. You will get filled. So, like something on this, if I wanted to sell premium, and I know people are like, hey, this stock's up almost 20% on the day, I think it's going to keep moving. Some retail trader, they don't care. They're going to hit the ask. And if you're above the ask there, and somebody takes it, buys the contract, and you're selling that premium, that stock can fall. So I mean, you can sell, like, that's what kind of, when I say I pay more attention like to above the ask if it's like not making a big move like that. So like if we were looking at, let's like Apple, like we're up 0.5% today. If I seen a whale come in on the August 8th, 230 calls at $1 a contract, so 5 cents above that contract, that would be, to me, kind of unusual because there hasn't been a big move on the stock. IV's not juiced on the contracts. to me, then it's unusual. But when it's up on something like this, 17% IV's juiced, people want those contracts. So to me, then I'm a little more cautious that they could be selling contracts above the ask. So that's just kind of my view on it a little bit. JT, I got those two guides. I'm going to do the exercising in the money contracts, which that's like you technically can exercise them out of the money, but you don't usually see that ever. It's always in the money contracts that are getting exercised, like those PDDs that I just posted on X here. Let me pop this up here. Like this dude or lady. These were the 110 calls. PDD came up and it was actually hit, I think, a 111 something today. I was just looking at, 111. So you're $1 in the money. So essentially, if I exercise those contracts when PDD was above 110, or let's just say I exercise those contracts when PDD hit 111, I'm buying those contracts. I only have to pay $110 per share. The stock is trading at 111 per share, so I get to keep $1 per share. So I'm making $1 essentially. So I'm getting the shares at 110. They're worth 111, and I can sell them for that extra $1. So that's why kind of that deeper in the money stuff I kind of ignore. But you typically, if people will exercise, they're going to be in the money. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. Hey, what is this? This is new. You can short now? That's cool. I've never seen that on there. It's always sell. That's new on Webull. Interesting. But yeah, I just chopped today too. But yeah, I hope that kind of makes some sense to you, JT. I know that in the money stuff and all that, it can get kind of confusing and all that. I mean, I don't know what the average percent. Yeah. Exactly, Zigford. You're 100% correct. But yeah, you're typically. I wish I knew the percent off the top of my head. I wonder what the percent is of people that actually exercise contracts. I think it's like 80% of contracts expire worthless. So that's why you see a lot of premium sellers in the market, because they can sell premium and they're going to collect the premium because you want Theta to erase the contracts, because a huge chunk of contracts actually finish outside of the money. That's the thing. Man, we were just getting nothing. But yeah, so kind of what we were talking about yesterday. Yes, JT. DD. What ones are those, JT? Okay. Calls, puts. Because I don't think I've seen those ones. Calls. All right, let's look at those. Calls, so we're going to do the 146 and 145. We'll do the 145. Then we'll do the 146. All right, let's look at the 145. And these came in, it looks like, yesterday. Oh, yeah, okay. So let's take a peek here. I want to do some math first. So 5,100 contracts. We're just going to make it easy math. Probably carried over here. I mean, you 8,000 on the day. I just want to look at that raw flow quick here. I trust your flow reading, but I just want to look at it for my... Well, these might be sells at the ask, because look at that IV drop come in here, but you're closer to the ask. That's interesting there. So like you said, I know you said they made a move yesterday. 50 came up and hit 100%. I think these might be sells at the ask. 145. What's Datadog trading at right now? So yeah, I mean these contracts. 145. Yeah, look what they're trading at now. So if that whale actually is selling that premium, they're probably happy. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of looking at that raw flow again here. Sorry. I want to look at that full thing. That's an interesting one. Okay, IV spiked when it came in. Started to drop a little bit there. And then you have the... Oh, wait. Oh, the IV did spike. Never mind. Totally ignore me. I don't know why I read that wrong. I was like, oh, your IV dropped. Never mind. Ignore me, JT. And they came in above the ask. I don't know what I was reading there. I guess I'm already on Friday mode, but... Yeah, coming in above the ask. So 101.76. So, okay. 50 was the fill. So, I mean, they were looking good today for a little bit. So, Theta... How much did it pop today? So yeah, it did make another nice little move up today. But I mean, yeah, like you don't see a lot of that volume coming off. So, I mean, that's just so weird to me. I mean, you got 3,300 contracts being traded. My guess, well, even down here, it's so hard because you don't see that big exit there. But I mean, like these were green today too, like you said. Let's look at the 146 on that. So obviously the further out of the money, the more aggressive your theta is. I want to look at that raw flow. So again, I'm going to trust your flow reading here because I couldn't even read the last one. Your IV spiked. You're coming in above the ask. So like this and the 20-cent spread, that's kind of, I'd probably avoid that, but 8 cents above the ask. And again, 47. They kind of hit 67 yesterday. It looks like 73 probably for a high. Then today, just nothing because Theta ate those away. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That is very interesting. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know why the whales do certain things that they do, but like that. Oh man. Oh, sorry. So this was 5,000 again. So I mean, yeah, most of that carrying over. I mean, yeah, that's just odd, especially with that other one. This one I could see being a buy because you're closer to the money and they expire, but those ones were pretty far out of the money then yesterday. Yeah, that's why when you see those kind of short-term expirations, you know Theta's really aggressive and can see maybe a quick... I mean, they're expecting a quick move if they are buying the contracts, but that's interesting. Very interesting. Good example there, too, because, I mean, it reads as a buy when you see that IV spike. Yeah, on the 0 days, I mean, you're going to see that. I mean, like, if we come and look at PDD for today, like, oh, come here. Like, you look at that theta, your delta, your theta, well, yeah, it's weird. And that's the thing, like, with the flow, too, you don't know exactly what they're doing. Those Datadog trades, they could just be part of a huge another trade that you don't even know. They could be short the stock and they could just have some calls in case it moves up. It's people do a lot of weird things, or who knows why that trade got placed, and it's you never know 100%. That's the thing. We really haven't had any flow here since the start of the live stream. Oh, well, what the hell? Why did this not ding for me? Let's look at these oracles. 52, okay. Multi-leg 8. I noticed that too. I didn't know if anybody else had any noticed that, but I had to refresh my unusual whales a couple times and for that flow to kind of kick in. So, oh, hey, let's look at this one. Oh, well, it's an earnings play, so I was going to say above the ask for earnings, and it's probably going to be a block. Holy crap, 76, 95. That's odd. Let's just look at it how it came in. So, I mean, yeah, your IV drops. I mean, strange. But they moved quick. Okay, I want to look at those oracles that I was looking at. So 370, kind of small size. Okay, where is our descending fill here? Descending fill, so 6 contracts. Ivy kind of drops there. You're still leaning towards the ask. Then Ivy comes back up. Probably lean buys on these. Those were running at 584 today too. So 1% on multi-leg's a little high on them, but 1% out of the money. Like, that's something I'd be comfortable swinging over the week if you're confident it's going to make a move up. Both these BL. So again, another one, overlapping earnings by 10 days. Big spike in that call premium. When I see those big spikes, I kind of like to take a peek here, just see what's going on. You don't have any net call premium throughout for the last 14. How about 30? And that's interesting because we had the spike there, had a big move up. Oh, excuse me. Had that spike there in the net call premium, good call volume. Then we had a little one today. Not as big as that one back there, but still interesting. You don't have any flow to go off of it in front of it, so it makes it a little difficult to kind of see that flow before it. Oh man, I think I'm taking a nap after the market closes. Wow. Yeah, so I mean, that's an interesting one if it didn't overlap earnings either. Like, we don't know if it's an earnings play or what. Meta, the 28-day calls again, overlapped earnings. Kind of far out of the money. Again, nothing really around it to look at. Only thing you got to look at is that size after where that IV drops, so tough to know. Yeah, a lot of that flow just kind of chopping along. Why is my flow not updating? Okay. All right, let me pop in the tide for everybody. This is that summer flow, though. Summer earnings season flow. It's typically brutally slow like this. At least wintertime, usually get a lot more action on these Fridays. And next week, might be kind of, this is going to be an interesting day though. Tuesday with Paul. I don't know what he is. where he is speaking. So I just want to see. So that is the 22nd. Oh, just opening remarks. Okay, nothing probably interesting there. But yeah, next week's gonna be probably brutally slow again, too. I mean, you don't have anything major. Maybe see some action here Thursday with our claims and composite and our S&P PMIs. Then durable goods Friday. But yeah, another probably just brutally slow week. What do we have after that? Oh, we'll get our job data. So, okay. We'll see some pickup here in 2 weeks, but God, next week's going to be bad. But we have a lot of earnings next week, so that helps too. Yeah. I ended up cutting mine because it hit my stop there. I can pop that up there. And then they had some news too, as well as it kind of doing it there. Yeah, I mean, it rejected that one day and kind of came down, but didn't really get a big move on it like I was wishing. I mean, you closed, I think it was, let me look at my thing again. I think it was a close above it on the daily. Let me just take a peek here. Yeah, so the 163.18, so didn't really would have wanted to kind of close that. It was that 160-ish there. So I mean, when it closed kind of here before that big gap up, that would have probably been my exit. I think I actually exited here a little later on the 10th here, 10th or 11th. Because we had a small little rejection there. I was like, nice, I'm going to get a little back there. But then you had that gap up. And, I mean, you have earnings coming up in 40 days, so you have a little time. But, man, that thing is getting very oversold there, too. Or not oversold, overbought. So that's a tough one. I probably wouldn't short it now. I mean, you're not seeing a lot of flow coming in and on it either. Let's take a peek at the flow and see if we got anything coming in. I think that was the first losing flow and charts play, probably maybe in like 5 or 6 plays. But it happens. That's why you gotta have risk management. But let's take a peek. Yeah, you can't win them all. I wish you could, but you can't. Yeah, a lot of multi-leg junk here. Yeah, just about this big guy. Yeah, just a lot of multi-leg stuff here. It's some bid-side calls. These are kind of interesting. Take a peek at these. And there's already a lot of see, and it's so hard to know if it's opening. Just there's so much volume on these chains already. Nvidia is obviously a highly traded company, so yeah. I mean, I don't think. Let's do it like. So Nvidia, let's look at these. That's nothing for premium. Nothing. That one, that's so far out of the money too. You're gonna have a lot of earnings junk coming in. Oh, that's 14 days. So these came in back on the 15th. 32 came up and hit 38, 42. They were still in, but kind of far out of the money. 0 days. Obviously, you're not going to take those. And that 77K premium, it's very tiny for NVIDIA. The bigger the company, the bigger the premium. Like if I have 100,000 coming in on Ford, that's a little different than 100,000 on like NVIDIA or Tesla. See, so yeah, I mean, just really ain't seeing much. Yeah, this was the different big one. And these guys are still down too. I mean, a lot of that longer term flow, it's a lot of patience. And even with the flow and charts, when that one was like 70 some days, and it's like, I almost didn't want to post that, but I was like, it looks good, but it's so long term, and a lot of people typically aren't patient when trading there. I want my profits now, so. And I mean, kind of even just keep backing out of it. I don't know why. Okay, let's go back here. Video. Not the Greeks. Where's my gamma? I mean, just kind of looking gamma-wise, too. I mean, prices kind of a little diverged from it. Not super diverged, but could see a little pullback. I mean, that's why I was like, oh, it looks like a good time for a small pullback with how big the run's been, too, so. Just kind of looking at here, too. Let's take a peek. Like the last 30 days, I mean, you're split on volume, too. I mean, that's the last 5-year return on that. That's just crazy. AI, though, I tell you. AI and chips. And like these, like a 2-put, that's just... I'm not a fan of those stocks under $5 or so. Even $10 is kind of low for me. Just you have they're so slow moving. I mean, you get a 2-cent move on something like this, and you're up 0.5%, 2% on the day. So look at these. So no open interest on that, so that's interesting right away. Holy shit, what happened with this? SRPT. Why is that getting killed? Oh, there. Okay. So FDA is getting involved, so that's why you're getting killed. What is this related bond stuff? There's a lot of like updates on here that I don't really pay attention to. Short. I still want to figure out what. Let's see if I can go there. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, see, I probably wouldn't chase something that's down 36%. That's pretty big move down. Oh, man. These slow days just suck. And I thought we'd see a little more action with consumer sentiment and all that today. What? Let's see. I know I was looking at earnings earlier too. Like next week's gonna suck for earnings too. I hate earnings season. Have a good weekend, JT. I mean, I'll have those learning guides up probably tomorrow night or Sunday for you. Yeah, earnings next week's gonna Verizon, Google, AT&T, T-Mobile, Tesla. Wednesday is gonna be your fun day next week. And Intel, yeah. And then the next 2 weeks are just packed with earnings. Earnings season is upon us. Yeah, JT was not wrong about the market being dry. Do any of you have any flow or anything you want me to check out? Because I might do what he did and hop off here. I mean, we're just having nothing come in. And well, let's look at these actually. Oh, we had some micro strategies come in. So 5,000. Actually, I think these are the ones that came in a little earlier. These are interesting. Let's take a peek at these. 410, 410. So small little drop in that IV. I don't like that. So pop in that IV. That looks good there. Then what does this one do? So okay. So yeah, see, so your IVs are decreasing here. Yeah, those might be sells at the ask. And how far are we out of the money? 457, 7%. Yeah, I'd probably pass on those. All right, let's take a peek at that. We will take a peek. So the Don 815.75 calls. So clean opening trade. So 91% of your total volume. So that's whale here. So I don't have any flow to really go around off that. I don't like that spread. Not a fan of that spread. And again, you're kind of overlapping that earnings by about 15 days. 17 days. Wow, my math is off today. So yeah, that's a tough one. And again, under $10, that's it's a slow mover. But if you made me guess, I'd probably say they're asks, but that's tough to know on something like that where that spread's kind of junky. You don't have any flow to kind of go around. And that is a majority of your flow on the day. Let me... Yeah, this one. Yeah, I mean, you don't really get much on here. What was... I thought I saw something else on there that I didn't see before. Let's see. I thought it said shared something on here. I don't know. I've never seen that before, but yeah, I mean, you just don't get a lot of trade. You have the one, and that's only 27,000 premium. I didn't even look at the premium on that. I'd probably pass on that, Zigford. That's pretty low premium, but interesting on something like that. Both these CLA, bad spread, overlaps earnings. Yeah, everything's just junk kind of coming in right now. But Wilson, Andrea, or Zigford, you guys got anything else you want me to take a peek at? Because I'm probably going to hop off otherwise and just call it a week. It's just junk coming in. Yeah, I'll get that flow recap. Man, even the flow recap video for this week is going to be pretty short, so just kind of a crappy way to end the week, I guess. But all right, you guys, thanks for hopping in. Sorry I wasn't more action-y or anything, but maybe next week. Have a good weekend, you guys.